Okay, everybody, what I'm going to do is just give you an overview of the VLE format that we've got. You may think, well, we've all got VLEs, but it's actually linked into what Isabel and Kenji was actually talking about. It's engaging the students with a VLE and getting them to look at the kind of format that they think is acceptable. So near enough a year ago, there was a project that was given to me and the team in business by John Phillips here, was to look at the new HNC Business Group Award and put it into some kind of format that the students would like. And I put it into this area here, basically looking at contact details, basically what the student wants. And I did a bit of research with this when I did a course at the UWS, and it's trying to welcome the student and make sure that they are happy and can engage with this area. So contact details, and if we look at some, make sure that everything's clear in the outset. So if we look at introduction to the unit, and I used web pages, and we used this set font, and that's all the way through. Because some of the students were complaining, there's big diagrams, there's documents there with 52 pages, there's no kind of guidance to try and find out specifically what they need. And also some kind of activities that didn't have any meaning. So looking at working on the collaborative side, getting forums, getting them to do peer assessment in some cases. So the kind of format, we started just to use font. The colouring is 6666. We used font 14 and 10 all the way through, and the students seem to like this. And also with the feedback that we had from the latest focus group, they liked the layout as straight learn outcome 1. This is what I've got to do in week 1. This is the label, quick instructions of what needs to be done. However, I like to follow that up with some kind of activity. But if I go to the forums, and this is where it's trying to get people on, so the collaborative learning, the peer group discussions. Some of you may have already done this kind of thing, but it's trying to get, just trying to get people to engage, trying to get people engaged in forums. Now I don't know if anybody's had any problems with that before, whether it's on the younger side or the mature students, but it's trying to get them to look at the PowerPoints or support their learning, trying to get their point of view over, and then getting people to maybe not criticise them, but put their comments and say, well, look, I found a good website. How about trying that? So let's see if I can get any more. Some students will put one-liners. Some will go into a little bit more depth. And it's trying to get students to try and look at what each other are doing and putting them into small learning groups and try and get them to exchange information. So as far as it went was putting the PowerPoints up, giving the students exactly what they need, doing different activities such as case studies as well, looking at things like pre-reading. And what we've actually done in the business school, because we're trying to get into the university style of teaching, is looking at lectures, looking at tutorials. So it's getting them to pre-read before they come and do their tutorial next time. So it's not just turning up, information given, it's like engaging the student, identifying what's coming up next week. You do the research, it's part of the independent process. So it's trying to use the VLE in that way. All I've tried to do here is just get an acceptable format, and I used feedback from the team. We all agreed on this format. I used HNC Business Part-Time. They looked at VLEs that were, the old VLEs that were there. As we started to build up the new format, I took feedback from them. They said they were quite happy with that. And also the labels. They're the key things, is making sure they've got some kind of information to follow up. So pre-reading, whether it's reading lists, all the contact details, the forums, activities. But if there's an activity there, do you follow it up? Is there some kind of summative assessment all the way through? And also I used the forum for news as well. So after each single session, I kept constantly talking to the students, and that was the key thing that they liked. that the communication aid was not on my email, because there's nothing worse than you get loads of students emailing different questions in. You're using the VLE to put that question out or that information, and everybody gets it. Then they start and reply to you. There was one thing I did find when I was getting the replies, and I brought it up with Tom, that if you get students answer you from your news forum, it'll come up www.mis. It'll not come up from their mailbox, because some students have, yes, Graham, but can you give me feedback on this? I'm going, well, who are you? What course are you on? So that's one thing to be aware of. That's it.